Hello, welcome to Bedtime Stories with the Bedtime Cocktail. And today we're going to be reviewing two chapters. It's a whole thing now because it's getting juicy and I can't just hold it down to just one. So when I read, I'm reading, okay, I have to go to the next chapter. It's just too juicy for me to stay at that one chapter. So tonight I'll be reviewing chapter 12 and 13 and 14 of A Savage and His Lady. Now there will be a better view of this book in the edited. When I edit, it'll be right about here. You shouldn't see my hand, okay? So that you can see a clear picture of the book. And child, a lot has happened. A lot has happened. And since chapter, what was it, 12? Where we had Kyra in the hospital. But then De Niro found out that Nitro knows about the baby. Oh, child. That's where we left off on chapter 12. But let's get into, before we get into the review of chapter 13 and 14 of A Savage and His Lady, let's get into the bedtime cocktail. Now, tonight, we're going to be doing a Kentucky Mule, done my way, of course. So, this one has very little measurements. We don't have any stirring spoons. And then, unfortunately, I don't have a copper tin mug to put it in, which most mules are served in. I just have my handy dandy, according to AKARA, glass available on, according to AKARASprings.com. Okay. And my jigger and some lime juice and what's left of Kentucky Tavern. So let's get into this Kentucky Mule done my way. Okay, so let's put the book to the side over there. Okay, so what we're going to start off with is one jigger or 2 ounces of whiskey, of Kentucky straight whiskey. Okay. All right. Put that right on in there. Put that right on in there. Okay. And we're going to put Old Kentucky Tavern to the side. Now we're going to do a half a jigger or 1 ounce of lime juice. My Kentucky Mule to have a little sweetness to it. Now we're going to fill the glass with ice. Okay. Get your ginger beer, not ginger ale, ginger beer. It is different. It tastes different. One tastes a little more sweeter than the other. And pour the ginger beer in there. There you go. And that is a Kentucky Mule. Yeah, they take so. And this is your Kentucky Mule done my way. Okay, let's see how it tastes. Good child. Trust your auntie. That's a good drink. Now let's garnish it with a lime. Now there's ones that I purposely already cut for the job. And because it's going to be extra juicy, this I put 2 limes on there. So booyah! Now that's a Kentucky mule. 2 ounces of whiskey, 1 ounce of lime juice, a squirt or two to your liking, just to give it a little extra sweetness to it, and then um, some ginger beer till the glass is full or the mug is filled. If you have a copper tin, Kentucky Mule is a perfect drink, summertime cool drink with a little to it. Okay. Now, if you want more to it, do 4 ounces of whiskey and keep the regular measurements with everything else. And you talking about a 1-2 punch? It'll be if you like me, I like to taste my liquor. Okay. Okay. Now let's get into A Savage and His Lady, chapter 13 and 14. Right. Yeah. Let me tell you. Chapter 13. Did I say 12 and 14? I meant 13 and 14. I'll be reviewing 13 and 14. Okay. Chapter 13 starts off with Tori narration of her part in all this stuff. She's at her brother's apartment packing up her clothes. She's now ready to leave and go on back home to New York. And so she's packing her bag. She's like, I'm ready. I just got one more piece of the puzzle of what I got to do, and I'm ready to go home. So she's packing her clothes, getting ready to go, and then she goes to her brother's Sin's door. She knocks on the door. He's like, "Okay, I'm ready." He's like, "Man," he answers the door. He said, "I don't know, sis. I can't do it." Okay, nah, I can't do it. You're gonna have to find somebody else to do it. She said, "Fine, I'll do it myself." Now, before she came to that conclusion that she'll do it herself, her brother was trying to convince her, "Why don't you just go home? There's all this nonsense that you're trying to do is just too much. Just go home." And she was like, "Whatever. I got to do this." Okay, so what is this? Here we come. So she's determined to finish this last little piece before she goes back to New York. Um, so she calls her good old friend Keisha. Okay, why Keishas always have to be hood? I know some Keishas that aren't hood and didn't grow up hood. But anyway, she called her friend Keisha. She said, "Hey, you want to make a quick, some quick money?" She said, "Hell yeah." She said, "Bet, I'm on my way over there." So she gets in her BMW and goes to Keisha, who lives in the hood. Okay, she lives in the ghetto. She lives in the projects. And she said, "Oh, I hate coming here." All the hoeing and all. Well, she didn't say hoeing, but all the things that she was doing to get money, she never afforded to get out of the hood. She chooses to stay in the projects. That don't make any sense, But whatever. So she goes. She said, "Hey, You see Keisha Harris, and they do the greeting. Hey girl, what's up, bitch? How you doing? You know how we do. And she says, look, I need you to whoop my ass. And Keisha said, like, she looked at it like, nah, nigga. I mean, what kind of stuff are you on, girl? Talking about you want me to punch. He said, she's like, do you want this $500 or what? She was like, say less. She was, I mean, she let her have it. She said, say less. Bow, 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 pow, uppercut. Cross the, I mean, Tori had to tell Keisha to stop. She even says in the book that Tori says that, dang, girl. She said, she was like, if she wasn't doing this as the final plan, the final revenge, she would have been fighting this girl because she's like, she must have had some pent up aggression because she whooped her ass. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't even say the words right. Whoop her ass. Okay. And so she, as she's getting hit, she sees the blood coming. She smiles deviously. she, after Keisha finished whooping her ass, she gave her the money. You know what I'm saying? And then headed straight for her brother's place and called the police. Girl, yes. What she did is like talking about exacting revenge, yo. Yo. What she does, I'ma tell you in Kyra's commentation. So after she does that, she's like, fine. She goes back and she calls police. Let's go on. The next part is Kyra's commentation. And so she's been discharged from the hospital. She doesn't call Denise or De Niro about the whole thing, to pick her up. She calls her mom because she feels, De Niro, she just really doesn't want to see him because of the cheating. And Denise, she figures that Denise ain't gonna want to see her because she doesn't understand the fullness of how Nitro and the whole thing. So she calls her mom, and of course, mom picks her. She says, "Thanks for picking me up." She's like, "Girl, ain't no thing but a chicken wing. You my daughter, okay?" And why you didn't call De Niro? Are y'all fighting again, child? You know how us mothers we be knowing. If you're a mother, we be knowing. We just be knowing. It is instilled in us as soon as we conceive a child. We be knowing. Okay. She's like, "Oh, Mom." She's like, De Niro cheated on me with some old bitch that he used to date back in the day. And to make matters worse, I got a whole video to see it, and the nigga had the nerve to show up at the hospital with all the evidence on him, Mom. Like, what the? Of course she's not cussing, but in her mind, she's like, what the fuck? What's really good, Mom? She's like, girl, not to take De Niro's side on this, honey. So they had a whole mom and daughter moment where, she basically said, like, the fact that there was a video sent, it sounds like the brother was set up. And that's when she has the coming of age story where she tells her daughter about how her father cheated on her and she had to shoot a nigga. I mean, shoot a brother. And Kyra's like, what? She's there with her mouth wide open, but laughing and cracking up. It's like, it's just really strange hearing her mom talk like this because she's used to her mom. She's a holy roller. She be in the church all the time. And to think that her mom actually whooped the chick's butt and shot her father. I mean, it was, you know, if you ever had that moment with your mother, ladies, you know what I'm talking about, where you was like, wait a minute, I thought you was holier than that. And now, and she's telling you, it's like, look, I wasn't always saved. Okay. Okay. I know how to handle a gun. And your father won't never cheat on me again. Praise to Jesus. Thank you, God. Okay. All these hoes better, better hold. Don't forget it. Stay away from my man. Because I'm going to be the one to bring it to you. Okay. Without a second thought. So that was a wonderful whole situation that little what you call it, that summer's eve moment, that what was the international coffees moment, okay, with the daughter and the mother conversation. So she said, so I'm up. So at the end of it, as she's driving her, her mom asked, so am I bringing you home with me or am I taking you home? He said, nah, take me home. So they get there, and, she uses her key to get in, duh, because she should have a key. It's her home. And De Niro's walking out of the kitchen with a sandwich in his hand. And he says, hi, Mom, talking to Kyra's mother, acting like he didn't see Kyra. So he's walking around with an attitude. And she's like, what strange universe did I just walk in? Did I cheat on him? Looking at her mom, it's like, she's like, I don't know, but um my name is Bennett and I'm not in it. Kiss my granddaughter. I'm out. Y'all need to talk about it. Talk about it, girl. So she goes upstairs. She talks to De Niro. He's clearly upset about something. And so she confronts it. Kyra is, though, seems to me, if she was a zodiac sign, she's probably an Aries. Um, because she's very straightforward. So it's like, man, you got something on your chest? You want to let it off? He said, well, you going to ever tell me that you told Nitro about the baby? And he's like, first of all, the only reason he knows, someone at the shooting range that you sent me to, and she didn't go there, but it could have been High Spice, because, anyway, someone at the spot that I was going, at Trev's spot, must have said something, because that's the only place I've been. And someone there told him that I be there all the time. And he ran up on me. Okay, so I don't know. Well, I know I didn't tell him. All I know is he ran up on me and he knew about the baby. So someone at the range told him about me being pregnant. Whoever it is, because the only people who knew was Trev, his wife Bianca, and De Niro and her. I mean, as far as the range, there's no one in and around them that would tell Nitro. Okay, they're not thinking about young Sin. Okay, Santiago. Tori's brother is the one who told Nitro about the baby. So, and when he came in, nothing happened in between us. Kind of like she's she's doing a low jab by saying nothing, and her ex went on, being that Nitro had sex with his ex, and he, of course, that was a low blow to circle back. Just like we did. I just told him, I confirmed the information, but he like, I don't know whose side you playing. If you looking like you playing both sides here. Okay, I think he feels some type of way because she didn't want to automatically get rid of the baby since it was because it was Nitro. And, from that moment he started kind of side eyeing Kyra. But in this factor, it's like it's a baby. It's in her and she doesn't want to get rid of it. Just because he doesn't like the guy who possibly is the father. Which I still feel like there's going to be a twist at the end where it shows that De Niro is actually the father of this child. Anyway, um, so they go through their cold conversation and she straightened it out about everything that went on. And right as they were about to get into the conversation, they get a knock at the door, and it's police there to arrest De Niro for the assault of Tori Santiago. So that's what she did. That's why Keisha had to whoop her ass. She was going to police to report that De Niro was the one who whooped her ass. Okay. So right now, De Niro, at the end of chapter 13, De Niro's now going to jail for putting his hands on Tori. Now, me and you know that's not true because he was with Kyra the whole time, as far as she knows. But now, Kyra would not be a good witness, child. Let's get to the end so we can do the question. So that's where it ends. With De Niro going to jail and Kyra, before he gets pushed into the car, he tells her to call his attorney Anderson. Mm-hmm. So that's what she did. So that's the end of chapter 13. Now let's talk about chapter 14. Let's sip this wonderful drink. Mm-hmm. So chapter 14 starts off with Nitro. Nitro is with Turk, sitting outside of Sin's house. And he's talking to Turk. He says, so this is where he lives? And she lives here with him? Now, I want to say this one thing. I love the way it started because at first I was wondering if he was outside of Kyra and them house. Kyra and De Niro. It's like, yo, you really for real trying to get her back when you know what I'm saying? And how you know that where she lives and, Nitro. Okay, he might be the savage. Okay, in this book. Okay, you is a nutcase. But either way, they're outside of Sin's apartment plotting to get at Tori for shooting at Kyra. So Turk goes upstairs, he knocks on the door, asks for Sin. Where's Sin at? He has the banter between him and Tori. And she's like, oh, he's busy, he's doing something. Well, he had went to the gas station to get some blunts, right? He's like, but you can hang out until he gets back. They're like, okay. Now the funny thing is what I noticed that in this is, I'm assuming after she had Keisha whoop her ass, beat her up, right? I'm assuming this is all after the fact. Turk, nobody, when she opened the door, no one said, damn, what happened to you? Nothing. Now, that would have been an added great addition to the story where Turk and or Nitro noticed that she is beat up, you know? So, but either way, so as Turk was coming in and he followed Tori into the apartment, Nitro slips in behind them and closes and locks the door. And he's like, Tori, Tori, Tori. That was my plan all along. You're like, you got to be more careful about who you let in your place. So, you've really been messing up the game. Okay, you've been stepping on my toes with whatever plans you got going on here, and I'm tired of you. Okay, and you crossed the line when you shot at my seed, and she's like, "Who, Kyra, and that funky baby she pregnant with? F her." Now I cussed already, so I don't want to be on here as the cussing auntie, but F her. F that baby. F you for liking her. And F the Nero for leaving me for her. F everything related to Kyra. And Nitro didn't even there's no villain monologue here. He just boom boom, two in the head. Take that how you want to say it. Okay. All I know is that's the actual sound. No, it said pew pew. Everybody going down. Pew pew. Everybody going down. Because he had a silencer on his device. Okay. So it's more like that. It should have been more like that. But in the book it's pew pew. Everybody's going down. And she went down and her body went down. Okay. No question. After she did that whole thing, no question, no monologue, no nothing. Just pew pew, everybody going down. So it's like, okay. After that, Turk and Nigel walk out the door, and that was all she wrote when it comes to that. Okay. Now we got Kyra commentary coming in with her commentary, and she's talking about she's packing up her stuff. I think she's come to the conclusion that like it may be too much because De Niro wants me to choose sides, and I don't understand why he's asked me to choose sides because I'm here with him. So clearly, I've chosen the side. I'm here with you, De Niro. But he, doesn't seem like enough for him. He feels like she's playing both sides, and it's really kind of stemmed from, or she feels it stemmed from the fact that she's pregnant by her ex, and the fact that she wouldn't let the baby go on to the ancestral plane by force. Okay. And he's kind of like, don't know how to really feel about the whole situation, especially with Nitro knowing. Now, he already want to lay his hands on and bless him with a two-piece and a biscuit, choking on the biscuit and going on to the ancestral plane because of that two-piece and a biscuit. He already wants to serve him that two-piece Popeye's chicken with a dry ass biscuit, no water. Okay. He already wants to serve him up for just what happened with Kyra and him putting his hands on her and the fact that he was sleeping with his girlfriend then. It was a whole thing. He has a whole vendetta for Nitro. And it was just a little bit too much for Kyra. So she was packing her and Danelle up to leave and probably go back home to her parents because she just felt like it was too much. And he's like, he's never really going to make peace with the fact that I'm pregnant by my ex that he hates, who cheated. Anyway, so he goes on she goes on to try to pack up and she kind of looks at her daughter and she doesn't really want to leave, you know, because living there and being with De Niro and having their daughter, you know what I'm saying? This is what she wants. This is exactly what she wants. But having to leave is not something she really wants to do. And then she gets a knock at the door or ringing on the doorbell or whatever. Yeah, whatever. And it's Denise. And so Kyra's kind of like, oh, you still talking to me? You still coming through? I should be mad at you for the whole thing, what you said to De Niro, because that wasn't the situation. And so they have their conversation. Kyra has a little bit of a breakdown. Denise consoles her. And basically convinced Kyra to stay with De Niro, especially with him being arrested, right? And so she tells Denise about the arrests, and of course Denise is upset, and she knows it's not true. The whole thing, and just makes them all want to. Tori and Nitro just need to be gone. They need to be taken out of the picture. Little do Kyra and Denise know at the time, one of those people has been eliminated from the factor. They are no longer a factor. Okay, so as Denise and kind of consoling Kyra and the whole situation, Kyra gets her phone begins to vibrate, to beep, and she sees that it is De Niro's attorney, and she picks up, "Hey, what's everything?" And it's actually De Niro. So he explains to, it's like everything is. She said, "How are you? Are you getting out soon?" He said, "Well, everything's okay. I'm doing fine, but it's honestly starting to look really messed up because you know you're trying to say that I beat up Tori, which we both know is untrue. Um, but they went back to her apartment or to her apartment to get more questions and they found her dead. So now they're trying to say that I had something to do with her being dead, which makes no sense because he was not there. He was arguing with Kyra about whose side she was on. But they don't know that. The last report they had is the woman saying that he was the one who beat her. So I'm going to be home soon, but I'm going to be home soon, hon, because this is not it. And Alex is working feverishly to find out, to get me out. So don't worry about anything. I don't want you to worry about anything. I love you, Kyra. Now, I need you to do one more thing for me. Call David. He has some directives that you need. I need you to do something. He was like, so like, okay. So she gets off the phone with De Niro. She gives Denise a briefing of what's going on. And he said he wants me to do something. Can you watch Danelle while I, you know, go and do something for your brother? She's like, no problem. Of course not. So she washes up, gets dressed, calls the person David, and he gives her directives. He says, meet me at this address. I'll text it to you. So she got the address. She got cleaned up and headed towards, got her gun, okay, and headed to the address. When she gets there, it's a lot of inventory and clothes and stuff. It's nice, whatever. And David basically informs her that's her shop. Okay, which I'm gonna tell you personally when we get to the questions what I question about that shop. So that's her shop. She's like, what? Oh my goodness, yes, De Niro did this so that you can have something to work. This is all you. You didn't even bother to look at the sign, did you, when you walked up? She said, I sure didn't. You know, yes, it's Kyra's Fashion Week or whatever the name of. If you want to know what it is, get the book. And so she's feeling all euphoric. Oh, my baby, you taking care of me, blah, 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 whatever. They have that moment. And then it's like, he said, I have something else for you. He said, she's like, what do you need? It's like, so he breaks down the whole plan to get Nitro. And so she's like, okay, she's like, okay, so what does that have to do with me? And he's like, my sweet baby, let me tell you, you a hot shot and we gonna need you. Yeah, uh-huh. She says, well, since you've been doing so well at the range, sniper, aka sniper number one, okay, there is an apartment across the street, which is a great shot. You gon' you gonna shoot your shot with Nitro again, but not like it used to be. Okay? And it's like, what? And she's like, in her mind, she's like, I mean, like, I don't wanna do that to Nitro. I mean, I don't wanna be with him, but I don't want to do that. And it's like this, and all she could think is this ninja, De Niro. He's making me prove whose side I'm on. Because that's what he was doing. Because he wanted her to pull the trigger, okay, to prove who she's loyal to, where her loyalties lie. And granted, I don't blame him really, okay. Either one. She was really offended that he questioned her loyalty. But come on, sis. You had his child, kept it from him for a year. And now you found out you was pregnant and you wasn't going to tell him again. So yes, where's your loyalties lie? Because you not being straight up with me. So I need to know. Prove you're with me. Prove you're on my side. And once again, she's there to get caught up in this lifestyle. She already went down for a dude she barely knows. She was so stupid, young and dumb. Now she's in a point where she has to prove this is more than her trying to prove that she's loyal to De Niro. it is getting her hands just as dirty as his. Because now you know the business, so you got to be just as dirty as the rest of us. So that's where it ends with her. David said, "You sure you want to be able to?" Say, "Yeah, no, I got it." So she's calling herself ready to be the short shot here. Now these are my questions, questions. Okay, of course I got that from Chaz on Daddy Issues. Questions with DC Irving. Huh? Well, this is not the same question. These are going to be the questions. So these are the questions at the end of reading both those chapters. Okay. Is De Niro really going to be able to get out? Because a lot of times, me and a friend of mine talked about our loved ones who have been behind bars, right? They all rough and tough about it before they get in, but once they in, it's like, oh, it's horrible, is this, is that. But on the other side, they're also foolishly optimistic on how short it's going to take them to get out of jail. They just think that, oh, you just need to sign this and I'm out. Nah, nigga. We got new developments and we have reasons to keep you, right? We don't know how connected Nitro is in this game either. Okay, because it looks like he's winning. So, is Nitro. Now, first, what was the question I had for? I said I was going to save it for the end. Well, it'll come back to me. So, is he really trying to? Is De Niro really trying to have, not Toya Kyra, prove her innocence? I mean, her loyalties, or is he trying to get her hands just as dirty as everybody else in it? Because now that means she's just as dirty as everybody else. So she won't be so quick to go and flip on the rest of them on this matter. How how um how deep is Nitro in this? Because he seems like to be the savage in here. A savage is someone who can kill at will, and Nitro seems like that person. De Niro seems like he's never taken any, not even the life of a fly, to be honest with you. So he doesn't seem like he has minions that do that. So, mm. And now Kyra is put in a position where she actually has to take some terminal actions against another human being. How is she going to change? And now I've heard that once you've done something like this, it changes you. And I wouldn't want to do it because I know for a fact that it'd be changed for me. If I can do that to you, I can do it to anybody. Okay, after that fatal situation, once I do it, I know I can do it again and again and again. So, will this change Kyra to being a little more colder, a little more jaded in life if she actually takes this life? You know, um, will Kyra actually pull the trigger? I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's hoping someone else or something will prevent that from happening. Will De Niro actually get out as soon as he thinks he is? I think he's not. Um, What what will De Niro say when he finds out that Sin was Tori's brother and he's the reason why Nitro knew about it? Is Nitro going to survive? Will he be at this lick? Or is he going to sense that something's not right and back out? Because Nitro seems stupid, but he's not. And I can't think of the other question that I was going to say, so it wasn't meant. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you all for watching the bedtime story, and I will see you next time when I review whichever chapters. For playing around with me and me getting more involved in this book. It might be 3 chapters next week. So, and with that being said, I'll talk to you all later. And I hope you enjoyed your cocktail. I'm starting to feel it now. This isn't, I could just see myself sitting on the porch somewhere warm and watching the kids play in the front yard as I sip on my Kentucky Mule. Mm, yeah. Any rate, that's all I have for you. See you next time on the Bedtime Stories and with the Bedtime Cocktail. Bye.